Welcome to another quarantine. Welcome to another test drive with me, Bill. Will be a quarantine edition. I'm driving a Nissan Sentra 2021, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. So let me go ahead and start the vehicle. This is a push to start engine, and it's weird because I'm not used to it. I'm more used to having a key to start things, but shows how much of a boomer I am. This is not the first Sentra that I ever drove. I drove a 1984 Nissan Sentra, and that car is a long ways away from what this car is. Seems like they've shifted the market for this vehicle into more of a compact or a mid-size, it seems like. At least that I think so. The exterior design makes me question that. The 1984 Sentra was based on the Sunny in Japan, and that was a front-wheel drive, and that had a 1.8. That one that I drove had a carburetor on it. So that's talking about, that's old. This vehicle has a 2.0 Nissan engine with a CVT transmission. I think that 1984 engine had that 1984 Sentra had 3-speed automatic. And the funny thing is that was my father's car. He used that as to deliver pizzas in the Gold Coast in Chicago. There was a time where a manager had a Sentra as well, but that was a stick shift. And one day he showed up to school to pick me up, and I was like, "Wow, it was the same exact color." So I was like, "Wow, you changed the transmission in the Sentra to a manual?" Shows how much I was when I was a kid. But that thing was a special vehicle because I kind of learned how to drive on that, at a young age too. It was so meaningful as a vehicle for me because my dad would wake me up, before school and said, "Hey, let me teach you how to drive." And I wasn't even 16 yet. I think I was like 10 years old. And I was kind of big enough because that was a compact car. And that was kind of small enough for me to reach the pedals as a 10-year-old. And, it really made me feel so. It gave me a big self-esteem boost at that young age because it made me want to write a paper at school for an argument to have kids have licenses at age 12, and because it felt like that I could drive at that young age, And furthermore, before that, I think my dad used it. In addition to that car, he still had it when I was at a very young age, and it was one of the cars where he would just plop me on his lap, and then I would, steer the steering. That and the Nissan King Cab. The Nissan King Cab I really had, strong. It had a strong affinity for, because I wanted to keep it, Oh, there goes my little. I should really get a holder for this, The other test drive that I have on my channel is for a Corolla, so that's what I would like to compare it to. I was able to just have my phone, stacked on the little HID, the gauges here, and I couldn't really rock it like I can with these cup holders. So it seems like this doesn't have as much oomph as the, I don't know if it's the CVT, or, you know, I'm not putting the pedal to the metal as much as I was with the Corolla. The Corolla, it seemed to have, like, you know, better power on demand, you know. But this is getting the job done, you know. I just got onto the highway and merged onto the lanes, and, you know, it cut in, but, you know, it seemed like it was much faster in the Corolla, you know. And the Corolla, I think, had a 1.8 engine with a CVT. And another thing, comparing the interior, the Corolla, it kind of made it seem like there was much more leg room, you know, for me to expand both in the width area and the length area. You know, this feels, the way that they designed this interior, it feels kind of cramped, because you have this here, you have the center console here, you know, barging into your legs. Either that, or I'm sitting, you know, cross-legged, I'm resting my legs, you know, wide out like a crab, you know. So I don't know what kind of analogy is that, but geez, I really don't like the situation with this cup holder. It's not giving me a good tripod experience for you, the viewer, but it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, the leg room on both sides are kind of hampering me, you know, and it feels kind of cramped in the lengthwise leaning in the pedals. But maybe if I just move the seat back a little, see, that's where the complaint goes away. It's all about moving the seat, you know. But you know, then you kind of feel too far away. You have tilt-telescopic steering. I already have that set up, you know. So that's a pretty good benefit. And then while I was merging to the highway, there is an indicator. It's rubbing, you know, every time you veer out of the lane, the computer inside the vehicle is telling you, is shaking. That means that it's kind of making you, I forget what they call it, because I've been watching Autoline, and they talk about this technology all the time, and, you know, I'm too much of a boomer. You have when you veer into the lane, you feel like a little shudder trying to tell you that, you know, you're veering out of the lane. With the Corolla, it was more of a heads-up experience, where it told me, you know, that you were veering out of the lane. You have indicators that tell you on your left and right, that tell you when vehicles are approaching, or when you're basically when vehicles are approaching. And then you have turn light indicators, I think, on the mirrors too, but I'm too busy driving as we speak. When I first got into this vehicle, it felt like it was like it was really sporty. You know, it still feels pretty sporty for a compact vehicle. I felt like I was low to the ground for some reason, you know, and because I guess that's what the car is nowadays. The car is low to the ground, and everyone else is driving SUVs, and, you know, it's that's how it is, you know. You have, I think one of my gripes that I had with the Corolla is that it seemed like this tablet wasn't designed well to stay in the center, you know. I like the sound system, though. It compares well with the Corolla. The Corolla kind of made it seem like, you know, you had a good sound system. I had a gripe where I couldn't change my my treble settings and my bass settings. I think I have to hold one button and then change the volume knob at the same time. So I don't know. That's one of my gripes so far with this thing. Me being too much of a boomer, I can't really relate to cars nowadays. You know. too much of an analog guy. And, you know, when I was renting this vehicle, the Enterprise guy told me, hey, we sell vehicles. Would you like to buy one? And I told him, no, I'm too particular, you know. Do you guys sell stick shift vehicles? And he's like, nope. You know, he's like, you want that 370Z, don't you? I was like, yep. You know, something like that, you know. This only, I got this car basically off the showroom floor for rental. It just turned 100 miles right now. It tells you when your gas is gonna run out. I have 124 miles. You know, you have a RPM gauge, that tachometer that goes to 8. That the red line starts around, looks like 6,800. You know, and it revs all the way up to 8 grand. You know, I haven't bothered to do that. You know, I'm more of a guy that takes care of the vehicles. But I think when I peeled out of the rental station, you know, I kind of floored it a little, and I could you know, hear the 2.0 kick in. You know, it's a pretty nice, solid vehicle so far. They have these air vents. They remind me of the Camaro, more or less, that I drove in Hawaii, where it's a circular design, and you know, it's like almost like a wind turbine. You know, you have dual climate control. I have it set to auto 68, and it's real comfortable right now. That's what these are. These are warning lights to tell you when vehicles are approaching and stuff, you know. So, I'm going to get into this thing. Let's see any doohickeys that pop up while I'm doing it. Nope. You know, there's no audio, like a crash prevention warning. I haven't bothered to do that. I think in the Toyota, you know, it did come on when someone was, you know, slowly turning in front of me into a driveway. And I'm too used to just driving right through it, but the warning did kick on for this. This, I haven't noticed anything yet. So far, so good with this smooth driving here. You know, I haven't driven through any heavy bumps so far, but it's very, the suspension is very set up, and it's, you know, the only gripe that I have so far is I don't know about this 2.0 engine. You know, it seemed like the Corolla had more power for what it had, well, 1.8 versus this 2.0 set up on a CVT. You know, I haven't bothered to do anything else with it. You know, there is an eco mode here. You can put it on and off. Maybe that will help me save gas. You know, usually you would think with a small compact like this, you know, you're saving gas anyway, but there's an eco mode on here where you can just press it, you know. Comparing this with my dad's Sentra, you know, this is crazy, you know. My dad, this does have familiar things, logos, you know, where you had the trunk release, but it was more on the end here, you know. It's easy to maneuver this where at my house where I'm parking. You have the transmission toggle switch here, you know. I didn't even bother to see what this, you know, what is this? Is this a button of some sort? No, it isn't, you know. It's just, you know, it's basically what it looks like, you know. You have the push button start, and then, you know, so far everything is comfy here. Let me just I guess I should stop the video, or you know what, let me make this an all-in-one video.